Always good to hear from Mac. Welcome to the Cash Race. I'm Drakos. That's Dagda. We'll be bringing you this first best of 3. And as Mac highlighted, you know, lose is improve, which I feel like is a coach interview classic.
Oh, yeah.
Mac delivered it in a much more compelling way than that, but I think that was the core of that kind of final.
All I'm learning is that they're going to be unstoppable because they have now been defeated, which means they've now learned everything.
Yeah, they're just slowly absorbing the lessons that their enemies are teaching them.
Yeah.
I have to feel like some lessons aren't going to come through in a single week of scrims, or in this case, 2 days of scrims, because I don't know really what they're going to have learned from Saturday to now Monday. It is still, of course, an elimination best of 3. The winner will move on to the top 4 to the best of 5 portion of our playoffs to face up against the winner of today's second best of 3. The loser will head home, watch the rest of the festivities from their couch. But on the opposite side, Mad Lions Koi looking terrifying, and this feels like the closer of our 2 best of 3s today in terms of parity, where both these teams absolutely ready to fight fire with fire. Vitality have been a bit all over the place, but based on what we saw against SK, I'm optimistic that they can really bring the thunder today.
Yeah, I think these are 2 of the most aggressive bot lanes that we have in the league at the moment, so I'm very excited to see how they're going to face up against each other. And also, I mean, this is a barn burner. It's such an exciting matchup when you look at, like, hey, you know, we've got ex-Mad Lions players and coaches going up against Mad Lions Koi. Want to try and see if they can put them in their spot again.
You like that? You like that TMZ spice.
Oh yeah, but
you
also
like that rivalries.
But
all right.
They kind of got beaten the last time these 2 teams faced up. So now you got like a little bit of like, all right, come on, lads, get over the line.
And I think that like it's going to be pretty natural for most people to assume that while there's a ton of interesting points to focus on the map, I think for us, bot lane is where we naturally
100%.
want to go because Supa and Alvaro are players who want to push their limits 2v2. Carzzy and Hylissang are the exact same. So if junglers don't come down to bot lane, they're going in no matter who's there. Like, fights are happening. So hopefully you can jump up onto it. So Cassante has been banned, but he prefers to be banned in the middle of the ban pool. That's why I actually don't know why he's there. I'll keep you posted as we get more information here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good ban regardless. Yeah, it looks like we're having some problems. But, like, I think it's a good ban anyway against Photon. It has been Photon's most played. And when you talk about the bot lane, it's like, hey, if we put Cassante in the top lane, he's going to be a menace regardless of what you do. So you can just leave him to his own devices. Then you go, cool, we're hyper-focused on bot lane, which has been something that Vitality, I think, have started to do a little bit more. Especially when Daglas can get his hands on things like the brand. But we'll have to see exactly what the game plan is coming forward as, yeah, a little bit of a funky situation. There we go.
Oh, it's gone. All right, debates on what the pick is going to be. I believe picks and bans are continuing. We'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully get the correct bans in front of you in a moment. There we go. Okay, no one missed a ban. We just were keeping you guessing. Props to anyone who followed along at home and managed to guess correctly that the missing bans were Kalista, Maokai, Karma, and Ivern. Don't know how you did that or why you wrote those 4 particular things down, but you would have been correct. Senna now has been locked in. Makes sense when we saw what Supa was able to do with it earlier in the week. The pretty quick and easy response for Vitality, locking in the flex pick of the Rell as well as the Varus.
I feel like you can just go Ash Varus here is Hilly though, right? And you're pretty happy. I do think though, when we look at like Mad Lions Koi last series, the fact that they went for the Senna did not mean that this was a non-aggressive matchup. They were actually very handily taking on GX with the Nautilus in the support role as well. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this is still a matchup that you want to try and play quite aggressive on. Elyoya going to go for the buy as well, which obviously has a lot of synergy with hey, you want to try and get in your face in the early stages and a lot of crowd control for that later point, which will help out in trying to pick out things like the Varus or the Akali in the backline. I did think it would be the Ashe though that they went for, but prioritizing the Vetheo Akali, this is something that Vitality have gone for over and over again, even in these blind pick scenarios. So curious to see if they try to like ban away things like a Taliyah and that kind of stuff to make things just a little bit more difficult. Nico, another example of how you can just make things more comfortable for Vetheo here.
Well, in the Ashe Respect ban now coming out, not wanting to give Team Vitality the luxury of playing double range bot lane, wouldn't be surprised with that Ashe ban coming through if Vitality just want to put the Rell now on the bottom side, match tank support for tank support, but we'll see what the adaptation looks like. Setting Vetheo up for success here. Could just ban another mid laner. Like giving Vetheo an edge in any Akali matchup, obviously very comfortable on it individually. And Fresskowy, not usually a player who's going to get a ton of early game attention, usually much more about either Myrwn or the bottom lane of Mad Lions Koi. So Azir now going away as well.
Yeah, I'm curious what Fresskowy wants to go for, because he still has a lot of him in his pool that he could try and go for. Like, he's playing a ton of stuff.
This entire team refuses to play champions. Not a single person on this team other than Alvaro has played a champion 4 times.
which is kind of insane.
Which is nuts, right? Like 3 is the most that any of them are hitting, and usually it's only on a single pick. So Fresskowy, yeah, his highest picks are Akali, Azir, and Nico, but that does not mean a lot. Sett. That's for Hilly. I'm sorry, that has to be for Hilly.
Yeah, I think it is, because it's like you can actually do really well against an Analyst. Analyst walks up to try and look for the hook. You can pull him back in. You got good opportunity to look for turnarounds with the Haymaker as well. Very, very aggressive bot lane, and this is a bot lane that you now hyper need to focus on. We kind of expected it coming into this matchup, but like that's a bell ringing in that bot lane to say we're going to go down. But Taliyah is going to be taking the mid lane. I think this should have been the ban over the Azir. At least Akali can survive the matchup into the Azir and then come alive later on. But I think against the Taliyah, you get so much push power, you get great side lane ability, and it makes it really difficult to try and play these fights as like a Rell or an Akali. When the Taliyahs have to throw down those unraveled earth.
All right. So we got what appears to be a Taliyah mid now paired with a Twisted Fate top lane for Myrwn. Saw it yesterday in the hands of Broken Blade. Can be this obnoxious split pushing threat.
Just the 11th champion for Myrwn casually.
Just casual 11.
debut. Yeah.
Is that all we're at? Really, 11? It's those 3 Gwen picks that are holding him back from a deeper champion.
Well,
speaking of, Photon now going to lock in the Gwen. So can mitigate, obviously, the gold card. And if you go the full AP route for Gwen, she just does so much damage as we get into those later team fights.
Yeah, I think it does give you a lot of opportunity to try and play sides as well. But I mean, into the TF, a huge amount of it is going to be trying to use your Shroud to try and dodge away from like a stun card or some of the empowered auto attacks and that kind of stuff, and seeing if you can play on the edge of range, because that's kind of where Gwen can come alive, especially when you look towards these team fights, right? Like Taliyah, TF, Senna, all going to struggle to deal damage to her if she's belongs to that front of the fight. So I think this is where it could be very interesting to see how these fights pay off. But I do think if you end up getting the lead as Mad Lions Koi here, you can very quickly start to run away with this game. So it's going to be very interesting to see how like both the solo laners on Vitality approach fights and how Mad Lions Koi approach the map now with this ADTF.
ADTF, the double semi-globals with the Taliyah as well as the Twisted Fate. Something that Vitality are going to have to respect. Vitality certainly much better diving tools overall. A lot more people are going to get to that back line a bit more effortlessly. And Mad Lions Koi with an interesting variety of, you know, not really your traditional scaling hyper carries. I think Senna obviously is that scaling threat, but isn't a Jinx. Twisted Fate, not your traditional scaling AD threat. You know what I mean? Taliyah definitely not the strongest in the department of like traditional control mages. You've got 3 champions who offer something a little bit different here. Just gonna have to see what Mad Lions Koi can do with them.
And I think it's mostly for Mad Lions Koi, it's like looking for those picks, right? So you're like, hey, we have a Taliyah Weaver's Wall. We can try and like separate and look for a pick, play off of side lane control, work with that Twisted Fate. You got point and click CC with Elyoya, and then even Senna, just from downtown, providing a bit of damage, a bit of shielding to make sure you can turn that around. So I think you've got very clear ways for Mad Lions Koi to try and play it out. It's just that if Vitality start to get leads and Photon and Vetheo, it becomes a little bit more difficult to pan out. So it's kind of interesting to see that, yes, we've got a lot of attention on the bot lane because of the, well, Sett that's going to come through, but I do think that the solo laners are going to have to work cut out from here as well, and already trying to get some vision here.
Top side, base checking into the brush. Sett with the setup. Elyoya now running. Elyoya is just dead. He knows his fate. Just going to walk away and hope it saves the rest of his team. Myrwn making it out safety by burning the Ghost. Nice start, nice read on the early level 1 play coming in from Vitality. Called out there. And of course, if you're enjoying the Times New Roman top bar, we are working on it at the moment. Those PNGs will load eventually.
And we will get Comic Sans to
We will
replace
get Comic Sans or Papyrus. You can vote now in the chat to let us know what you... I'm kidding.
It's called Avatar, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sorry, it's the Avatar font now. I have to forget. Papyrus not famous enough on its own. Anywho, we'll update that stuff as we go. A lot of the information's still correct. Going to revert briefly to the old school. It's an oldie but a goodie. As Mad Lions Koi kind of kick off the laning phase here. Positive early start. First blood going to Varus in bot lane for Carzzy. Nice. Extra longsword. Hilly already aggressive. Didn't really burn any sums. Should be much stronger in the early 2v2. Vitality know it. They're just going to walk forward and try to be as aggressive as humanly possible.
It didn't go for the pullback, didn't have a minion that he's going to be able to actually get the stun onto, and you kind of need that if you want to be able to follow up with a double auto attack from Hilly, so going to play that nice and safe. But I think it's a good read from Vitality at the get-go. You want the vision control there so you can
flash in, instant pullback on a Supa. Going to get the cleanse out as well. Ignite coming in, Ignite traded. Alvaro lays his down.
It's a bit of a weird trade though, because Hilly, the lower you get a set, the higher your regen, so you will actually get a lot of this health back very, very quickly. Yeah. But it's kind of counteracted a little bit by Supa's healing, as you can see coming through there. So even though it looked a little bit funky, and you end up with a summoner spell blown on Hilly, he still has his Hex Flash, still should be able to try and play aggressive, but both flashes still on Supa and Alvaro make it a bit of an even-ish trade.
Yeah. And if you've never seen Hilly play Sett support, if you weren't around when this was a much more conventional pick, this is classic Hilly. Play level 1 as aggressively as humanly possible. Use your flash aggressively, generally trying to get enemy AD carry flash, knowing you have the Hex Flash, knowing your next all-in, you know, is an easy kill once you do. Supa, at least, very confident, very comfortable, does just cleanse and walk away. So gives up a sum, but luckily not the flash in that context. It's Vetheo suffering a bit here. Creep block there and just going to eat a ton of damage. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Elyoya rounding in. Hylissang level 2. Should have the Haymaker available. Going to be tough. Level 3 now coming in as well. Alvaro getting level 3. That's a nice follow-up. Haymaker coming out. Good damage, but just not nearly enough. Carzzy continuing to free fire. Wants to finish off Alvaro. Is he ready to burn the flash? In comes Rell. Elyoya has to be careful here. Daglas doesn't want to overcommit. Mad Lion's Koi, they get the kill, they walk away essentially scot-free.
Daglas just a little late, and I think nice timing there from Mad Lion's Koi. They were trying to bait the level 3, so they did overextend, and they ended up being able to turn that back around. So unfortunate for Vitality, but this is exactly what you expect. Vitality are a team in that bot lane that want to play hyper aggressive. They want to use every advantage, and they kind of turned that around there against Hylissang.
They definitely do, and I think overconfidence from Hylissang most certainly. Daglas not quite close enough, and a good but brief window of opportunity there capitalized on by Mad Lion's Koi. So getting that killer to Elyoya is going to feel pretty solid. See how much further ahead he can get. Right now the jungle CS at least is dead even, just the kill separating him and Daglas. And I think the struggle for Daglas has been, it feels like when he's on those fast clearing champions like Brand, you highlighted this to me, Dagda. You know, he's kind of always where he needs to be because his clear speed is just so damn quick, but sometimes can lag behind a little bit when it comes to picks like the Rell. Yeah,
I mean, he's trying to make his presence known on that top side. Elyoya is there, so maybe have to turn this around. There is, there we go.
Gwen goes back up. Elyoya follow through, stun card there as well. Elyoya just gonna finish that one. Daglas just hand delivering a bag of gold to the Mad Lion's Koi top side.
And it's just not working for Daglas at the moment. Doesn't get to play on bot side, then goes top. And Elyoya there to respond. Nice jungle pathing from Elyoya as well, because that was actually the first time he killed his Gromp. He'd gone from blue Raptors into bot side, didn't do Crows at the initial time, so he was there slightly quicker on the bot side, then came back up and around, and only gone for reset at the moment as well to pick up his Phage and Longsword. So really nice pathing to just make sure he was in touch with Daglas on a lot of those plays. Actually, sorry, I think he reset after bot side, but still, I mean, Elyoya keeping track on Daglas and in the right places every single time thus far.
Really consistent there. Nice hook onto Hylissang. Good follow-up coming in as well. Hylissang should just be dead here. The shield's starting to fade. Nah, not quite the damage that they need to finish it again. The Sett regeneration on that passive, incredibly deceptive. Yeah. This champion is not tanky, and then he haymakers you. He's down to 5% HP, and he's got 150 health regen, and you cannot kill him.
It's so frustrating when you're just trying to finish off the last little bit, especially if you're trying to like pass a kill off to Supa or anything. You're just like, wait, no, he's not dying. Why is he not dying? And then suddenly
there's a couple champions you can't walk away from. You know what I mean? You just have to finish the kill if you're given the opportunity, and Sett is absolutely one of those picks. But Hilly playing on the edge there, which is again classic Hilly. Overall, though, relatively composed early game. Mad Lion's Koi, small but pretty tangible advantages. Early Swifties and a recurve for Myrwn on the top side of the map. Going to make a lot of that laning phase just much easier. Played some 80 Twisted Fate earlier today. Atrociously low base move speed. Really love that Swifties early purchase. It's just fantastic to have. Obviously gets you in range when you shoot your rapid fire cannon for the gold card easier, but in general, you need boots as quick as you can on this guy.
It's also just super nice because a huge amount of your damage is based on your blue card, but Vetheo gonna need a red card to get out of here.
Connecting, nice flick back there, good burst, has to dash back through Alvaro. Good angle of escape, respecting the potential to get locked up there again. So we'll just R2 back out to safety, perfect execution. Just gonna be an okay escape out of that one. But anytime they get the ult out of Vetheo, it means all of his kill pressure is gone in mid lane. Really frees up Fresskowy to push in and be aggressive.
It's a nice roam from Alvaro, though, because with Dragon being there, Vetheo thought he was safe to lean to that bottom side, but just wasn't. And Alvaro kind of skirting around a lot of the vision, but now Myrwn in trouble as Hilly.
About to find a Sett, walking in, pull back. Not going to come through, instant flash.
I just like the not a hope. I don't have anything to deal with this. Thank you.
I'm good. Thank you.
Bot lane. Just gonna see Carzzy is on his own. No one, Elyoya is still on that top half of the map, so it won't be a full dive. That's why you just see Daglas covering here, because they haven't really been able to track where Elyoya is, but Carzzy's still gonna be fine to pick up all this CS. As Alvaro just gonna move in and just get some vision control down. Spotting that this bottom side is clear, we'll give a little bit of information over to Elyoya.
Yeah, we take stock of that play as a whole. Of course, Infernal Drake does go down for the side of Vitality. A plate goes over the side of Mad Lions Koi, but they do also give up Myrwn Splash. So in the grand scheme of things, you know, Flash traded for a plate and a Drake. Vitality, I feel like, in that last, at least, small sequence, certainly favored. It's really hard for Mad Lions Koi to push advantages any further in the bot lane. I think one of the big disadvantages for a long time for Senna in the actual carry position is she's just trash at pushing. Now, pullback is there, though. Carzzy coming in. Nice little rain of arrows. Good follow-up. Level 6, not enough! Hylissang getting the kill credit. Haymaker coming through, but now Elyoya on the bottom side, desperate to get something back. And this Mad Lions Koi picking a fight they should not have.
I mean, that was it. It was just the amount of damage that you end up stacking up with that Haymaker when it's fully stacked is obscene. True damage coming through. Supa just wasn't expecting it. Stood right behind Alvaro, thought he was safe, but as that shot came in, felt the worst of it. And Elyoya was trying to get down here to help out, but a nice pick up there for the bot lane of Carzzy and Hilly. And if you end up with this Varus getting a lead, that's a big team fight victory for you, because when you look at it, you've got a strong front line coming through in Hilly and Daglas. You've got good target selection that you can shot down, but going to try and respond.
There, going straight back onto Carzzy. Carzzy has cleanse and flash up and available. He's just going to try to walk away. Good pullback from Hilly. Should have another Haymaker available. A nice shield. Goes for the ultimate as well, but not much of a show to be stopped there. Supa, however, going to be in trouble here. 3 blight marks on him. Flash in for a quick Q. Instant follow-up from Daglas to lock down the Senna. Vitality keeping the play going. Fresskowy just going to try to disengage and dissuade any further action. 3-3 the overall kill score, but that's just another quick pick on the Supa in the bot lane.
Again, though, it's Carzzy getting those leads, managing to get that push in. He has the CS lead, has the kill advantage, now sitting at 600 gold ahead. This is going to be a major issue for Mad Lions Koi as we get towards the rest of these, because one of the things you'd be able to do as Vitality is continue to put pressure bot, look to pick up the tower here, then rotate in towards mid, and you can use a lot of that pressure then in the mid game to go, cool, let's rotate Hilly and Daglas down to a side lane to support Vetheo if they want to try and look for an opportunity for Fresskowy, or move up and try and punish Myrwn. And you can see there, right, like the second there is even a hint of any sort of pressure up there, he has to pop the ghost, because a slow from that ultimate from Photon will set up perfectly for that play. Oh, I don't think they saw each other actually there. Hilly, I spot the top side is up, but I think he should just back away here.
He's fine. Most likely can just Hex Flash out as well. A good bit of vision laid down there as Mad Lions Koi are going to commit 3 members to the mid lane. Good wave clear from Fresskowy means first push and first access here. They're going to start to move down to the bottom side. Looks like recognizing that Carzzy might just be on his lonesome and really wanting to punish, wanting to go for this dive.
Yeah, there's no real pressure elsewhere. Photon just reset as well, so Mad Lions Koi kind of know they have this opportunity in the map where you're not going to lose out by investing onto this bot side with no one in the area. So everyone on Vitality just moving down here to ensure that you're going to be fine to move up and, well, try and get some of the CS, but the tower plates are gone and majority of that wave is gone. So nice timing there from Mad Lions Koi to punish Vitality, who just weren't on the map at the right time.
Definitely looking good thus far. Check in on Supa Senna stacks here in a few minutes as we get closer to the 14-minute mark once tower plays fall. Update you on what the range difference is going to be. Grub's up and available. Elyoya going back for the respawn here. Has already picked up 2. Could look to make it 5, which would be a pretty big boon. And you can see, based on mid lane, that Vetheo is really the only one who could try to match there.
Yeah, they're basically going to try and roam down onto this bottom side here. Wave is pushed in. You can already see the movement from Vetheo. They're going to try and look for the counter push on what was just happening from Mad Lions Koi. So we'll give up point grubs, but they would really like to get something here. Alvaro might give it to them.
4 members bot side. Alvaro just going to hook out to safety. Supa invisible in the shroud. Akali can't just R him, can't just go for the initial click there. So they just walk away. Not really a lot to be done. Elyoya, in the meantime, finishing off 2, looking to make the 3rd Void Grub go down. Hylissang, though, wants to kick things off in isolation. Supa caught out here, but no Haymaker to come through. Alvaro going to hit him with a thumbs up. Hylissang, a bit of a questionable play here. TP now to follow up to maybe hope to block it. It's successful. Fresskowy, that's a clean setup. Flick back onto Carzzy is nasty. And Mad Lions Koi instantly say, nah, bro, not today. Fast punish on the bottom side. They want to keep the train rolling. Elyoya looking for the setup. They might just back away there, and I can see the vision in Hylissang's eyes, but I think he thought he was tankier.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to like wipe your eyes a little bit to see the vision a little bit better. And that was nailed it. But Hilly, he's not dissuaded. He's like, cool, let's go again.
He's role-playing. He is the boss. That said, the boss is broke and doesn't do damage unless people hit him. So he's just going to walk away there. So Drake over to the side of Mad Lion's Koi, evening up 1-1 in Drake's, getting all 5 grubs in terms of the buff, and now a 1.5k gold lead. That's pretty big.
Sorry. This is very strange. I coughed. This is very strange here coming through from Hilly, because you're like, where's your follow-up? Like, even if Daglas gets in onto that, like a 2-man jungle support doesn't have the damage here as a Rell. And then Carzzy isn't really in a position, and it just sets up beautifully here, because not only does Fresskowy get in to get the kills, your whole trade here was either you could push them off bot wave and go for Dragon, which I think was the correct call here, or you could try and look for the kills, and once they overextend like that too far, Mad Lion's Koi just kind of get to take everything on the map. So this is a massive swing now in favor of Mad Lion's Koi. Like, you can see the Senna still a little bit behind, but the rest of the map is very quickly starting to succeed in favor of Mad Lion's Koi.
Yeah, and it's so easy for Mad Lion's Koi once they get into an advantageous state to just move their members across the map, because they get first push in mid pretty easily with the Taliyah at this point in the game. First push for Myrwn is going to be there until Photon has a lot more all-in threat than he does currently. So Mad Lion's Koi push out mid, instantly start taking control of enemy jungle. Vetheo now going to be forced to respond, but Mad Lion's Koi have the choice. They can go bot, they can go mid, they can even shift their focus to top side if they so choose, and it's really Vitality who are going to be forced to kind of play on the back foot.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get tough to try and match Vetheo into Fresskowy, because Fresskowy, as you can see, he can easily shove the wave now that he's got his tier stacks. Not going to really be an issue.
Pull back there from Hylissang. Excellent combo. Nice showstopper. Hylissang to the back line. He's dead again. There's no time for a haymaker. Can't even get another blow down. It's on Vetheo to try to turn this fight back. Fresskowy lays down the unraveled Earth, though there's Vetheo can't dash. He's instantly flicked back as well. Vetheo needs to dash through and try to find another kill. Elyoya locked up. Vetheo going out. He cannot go back in, however. The shuriken flip marking a dead target. Supa now locked up, and Carzzy just going absolutely god mode. Still standing. Body block big there. Carzzy needs to get the hell out. Fresskowy, nice big rock there. A second one. Back to back. This man is tough. He doesn't even need to see him. He just lines him up and knocks him down.
The boulder toss is real, and it's Carzzy gone flying after that one. Vitality tried desperately to force the play, but again, it's over forcing the play. They're trying so hard to get the kills on towards Vetheo, see if he can then be a threat in the side lanes. But here, like, there's 4 members here, and Akali isn't in position, so Hilly again, no haymaker, no opportunity to follow up. Yes, they get Alvaro, but you're chasing into Fresskowy, who's going to be able to set up again this unraveled Earth, making it hard for Daglas to do anything. Good flick back means that then Vetheo gets stunned, and then again you're overextending to try and find these plays, but they're just not quite enough. And nice from Carzzy here to follow up and get the kill on Supa, but that was just way too much from Vitality.
Fresskowy just hits him with a big rock twice. Nothing to be done there. Coach and staff feeling good on that play. This time Hylissang completely caught out, not on a play he initiated. Easy gold card follow-up. We'll get the opportunity to throw out the haymaker if he so chooses. He does! But he is no longer a laning Sett at 5 minutes. He is a 1-5 support Sett, and that does not do enough damage.
And this again is like Vitality over pushing the play. They tried to go for the setup on towards Rift Tower, but Akali was already in the bot side taking the tower, with nobody really there to defend it. They should have known that there was multiple members in the vicinity, but Hilly overextending there gets caught out, and Mad Lion's Koi are just punishing mistake after mistake from Vitality.
And Dagda, this is such a hard game now for Vitality to play. It was already difficult. The only saving grace that Vitality have is that their mid lane tower is up, but that's not going to be the case for much longer because Elyoya now has the Rift Herald. And at this stage, with their massive individual leads, they can just group and force a lot of these major objectives, and Vitality don't really have the tools to get in. Photon hasn't been present in the fights, and I think the gold lead top is a bit deceptive. The Gwen still will be really impactful in the full-on, 5v5. But we're in a situation that we were in the G2 series yesterday where Mad Lion's Koi never have to 5v5 if they don't want to. And when they do, it will be with first setup on every objective because they're just so far ahead.
Yeah, and I think a huge amount of that is going to come down to getting this mid lane tower. Once, as you can see, Mad Lion's Koi group up here, you use the Rift Tower, you get that mid lane tower down, and it becomes very easy to shove mid and then play out 4 sides. Like Elyoya and Alvaro linking up with either the TF or Fresskowy is going to guarantee a kill, and there's the tower gone.
Hylissang stepping forward to threaten, but Celestial opposition already taken out. Hylissang just disappeared. Now Vetheo going in, he's going to be able to take out Alvaro, but the instant response coming through as well. That's Daglas' ultimate taken down. Fresskowy again, just uncontested. Photon trying to ghost in, trying to get a little bit more done. Vetheo stepping forward, wants to get some more damage on Supa. Photon knows that he has to turn this entire play around. The Gwen, here she is! The shutdown for Carzzy, and finally, Vitality find a winning fight.
Yeah, Myrwn didn't commit the ultimate to actually get into play, so Photon getting in with the ghost. Nice timing to move down here and able to finish off this play, because this could have been an absolute disaster. Again, you get that little bit of an overextension here from Hilly as the tower goes down. Nobody there to follow up. He gets deleted immediately. Daglas then is just trying his best to set up for Vetheo, who does get the kill. And they manage to keep Elyoya in check as well, but Daglas just skirting away barely thanks to that crash down shield. But the fact that Photon is here with the ghost, Supa, good call here. Finish off the Akali to make sure you get a kill, because with that ghosted Gwen, you were never escaping away from that.
And definitely a tough fight to watch on the side of Mad Lions Koi, or excuse me, on the side of Vitality. Because you get some of the kills that you wanted. You do manage to find the shutdown. It does go to Carzzy, which accelerates him to 2 items, but you know you have to keep that ball rolling. You cannot stop, and that means that they have started Drake. Hilly again fishing for the setup. Myrwn on the backside, laying down the gold card. Elyoya over the wall. The dragon already down. Mad Lions Koi do not need to commit anything else, and they will not.
Watch Carzzy, though. He's starting to step in toward Taliyah territory. Trying to be very safe here. Mad Lions Koi not dissuaded. They still feel like they can get something here, but I think everyone should just back away. There's no, especially for Vitality, no reason to try and force this. Just try and look for your, try and look for your waves. But Vitality have shown that they don't really care. They like to be aggressive.
Certainly do. And I think the good news is you're at 2 items on the Akali, 2 items on the Varus, so you're powerful if you can set them up for success. But you can see on the top side, Twisted Fate, courtesy of the passive, courtesy of the pressure advantage, the plates, etc. Myrwn building an individual gold lead of 2K. Looks like Wit's End coming in next, a bit of tenacity, attack speed, damage on hit, not going to feel too bad.
Yeah, especially against the Gwen, works out very, very well for you. Having that little bit of extra magic resist means you're not capable of being just one-shot with that ultimate.
But I do feel at a certain point, you know what I mean? Like, Gwen will just do Gwen things.
Yeah.
And you will just find yourself hopefully sidestepping the last charge of her ultimate, and if you don't, dying in one shot.
Well, that's the thing, right? Because we used to see 2 different builds for the Gwen. There was always the Nashor's Tooth after the Riftmaker, which was, I am going to be a side lane threat and have a little bit more in team fights, versus what was the Shadow Flame. But not that anymore, as Hilly.
Done. Celestial Opposition mitigating some of the upfront damage, and he's dead again. He's gone.
Not giving Sett support's a good look now.
And the problem is, okay, to be clear, like, even when Sett support was good but not broken, because there was a small period of time where he was probably just overtuned. This was a champion where you essentially, it was a very hilly champion in the sense that you had to build an advantage and you had to keep forcing with that advantage, because the only thing that Sett does mid-late game, as we've seen, I think even he brought it out at Worlds for a single game last year, is like, you find good flanks with your ult, you get 1 combo off and you die. So you're just a worse Nautilus once you get out of the laning phase. Vetheo forced to flash away there. Positive exchange for Mad Lions Koi, most certainly. Fresskowy now can come down. Bit of a slow Baron take without Myrwn there. So don't think they're going to go for any early force here, as Vitality seem keen to make a fight happen. Hylissang going back in, but Carzzy's been locked up. Knockup now coming in as well. Carzzy locked up as well. The interrupt coming in for Elyoya, but only buys a brief moment. Carzzy's still standing though. Carzzy continuing to auto attack, generating so much space. Vitality clean team fighting to keep that 80 carry standing. Myrwn with the gold card. I don't think it's going to be enough. The Gwen already on top of him. Varus just keeps hitting. Somebody kill Carzzy, but they don't have the tools. They don't have the space. Supa now stepping forward. This is his chance to turn the fight back. The slows now coming in. One more Q might just do it. Step forward. Q, auto, he gets it done. Supa finally taking Carzzy out of the equation, but a messy exchange for Mad Lions Koi.
Exactly. I mean, the fact that Mad Lions Koi lost more numbers in that fight when they were the ones that tried to start it off is a bit of a disaster. And it started off looking well for Mad Lions Koi, where Daglas doesn't really get the engage. He's looking for Alvaro's able to get that interrupt. We'll see it as we get back into the replay here. But it's the fact that you just can't get this backline into position to deal with Carzzy. So the wall comes through, but the front line for Vitality is there. Supa's trying to get in range, has to then flash away as Photon comes in. And this is what I was talking about, is that if Carzzy's able to get ahead, there's so many members on Vitality that can deal with the backline of Mad Lions Koi. It becomes very difficult to deal with the dive, but Hilly...
Well, that you might think that you've seen this episode before, but you have not. This is not a replay, it's live.
No, it's a rerun.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's like an episode of Seinfeld. You know, the plot hasn't progressed. You're kind of just watching the same thing over and over again. It's just, you know, It's just episodic. You're not getting the greater narrative of a Breaking Bad.
It's like the Dragon Ball Z, where it takes like 3 or 4 episodes for him to level up for the fight. And then Hilly's just going to have this big ultimate in one of these fights where we're just like, clearly it's a great pick.
That's a generous narrative. We'll see if that turns out to be the case. Nice pick here on the side onto Photon. Fantastic use of the Twisted Fate Destiny there. Vetheo now trying to make his way out of the fight. Fresskowy, again, just uncontested on the back line here. Hex Flash from Hilly. Looking for the angle, as he does. Celestial opposition going to fade away. The Unraveled Earth laid down. Mad Lions Koi just going to be able to back off.
Great pick from Mad Lions Koi. Don't feel confident to try and go over towards the Baron, but I think this is exactly how you want to try and play this composition. Look for those moments where you can get the waves in your favor and just quick pick. Then you get to push in sideways. You start to build that gold lead again. You just make it very difficult for Vitality to try and play at the fights. But with 30 seconds until Dragon, you won't have TP for Photon. It's a question of if Mad Lions Koi can try and find that quick pick again, because otherwise Vitality will just get back on the map and contest them.
Yep. Just an update on optimization. We talked about Wit's End in the top lane for Myrwn. It might be his 3rd item, but for now he's just sitting on the Negatron Cloak. Instead opted for the Ginsu's here. Mad Lions Koi continuing to step up. Edge of Night for Supa means he can play quite aggressive, and Elyoya, interestingly, going for the Abyssal Mask. So setting up not himself, not Supa, a little bit Myrwn, but mostly Fresskowy. Looking hopefully to one-shot someone on the opposing team with that combination there.
Vetheo's in a good spot. He's spot on a ward though, so Mad Lions Koi trying to play up more towards mid lane. But this is where it gets a bit weird for Vitality. They want to try and pull this Dragon down to the bottom side. I was going to say if Hilly could be where Carzzy is, that would be fantastic, but them kind of stepping forward in the front line is not the best of positions. Vetheo trying to maneuver around again to get these flank wards.
Vetheo looking for the edge, looking for the angle here. Mad Lions Koi stepping up. Could be 3rd Drake for Vitality. Good wall coming in from the side from Fresskowy. Has kept Carzzy out of the fight. Carzzy throwing the ult, and that's not about all he's going to be able to contribute. But Photon staying in the shroud can deal so much more damage back. Fresskowy looking for the solo coming in. Managing to get the double with support from Elyoya. Vitality getting absolutely routed in the fight. Vitality caught by the wall. Could not find the angle to fight on their terms.
Monster play from Fresskowy. So gets the wall to separate Carzzy. But also realizes he has no flash. So he's able to just wander around, move past the vision that Vitality have set up, and one-shot Carzzy essentially alongside Elyoya. So really nice job in it. Mad Lions Koi, they got the Dragon, and they're going to be able to move over towards this Baron. And there's no one really there for Vitality to try and answer for this. Maybe Daglas can get there in time to look for a steal, but it's going to be a close one.
It'll be tough. One person who is going to get there first is Hylissang. Can he disrupt? Can he buy enough time? No, there's just no way. This is already gone. Close, a few seconds difference, but Mad Lions Koi just powerful enough to shred through that. Myrwn, that on-hit Twisted Fate does a ton of damage if he's just allowed to free hit.
Yeah, I think this one is starting to get tougher and tougher for Vitality now. I mean, 6 kills on towards Fresskowy, the Taliyah, and I want you to keep your eyes on it here as well, because as we start to look at Fresskowy's pro view, you'll see he's able to just get the pick on towards Carzzy. Then Elyoya is like, fantastic, I'm just going to immediately move back onto him. And it means that then everyone on Vitality is drawn towards trying to protect Carzzy, which opens up space then for Supa and for Myrwn on that top side to just finish off the last remaining members. So really great job by Fresskowy there to play on that flank angle and disrupt everything Vitality wanted to set up.
Yeah, good peace of mind. And you can see Fresskowy and Vetheo pitching for very similar flanks. The difference is Vetheo just disrupting on the backline, whereas the wall already impacting the team by very positively. And then Fresskowy's individual contributions with the rest of his kit, massive. Not only taking Carzzy out of the fight with the wall, but also shutting him down, and that's huge damage going in. Vetheo going out of the rift, sent packing back to the fountain. Perfect way to start this push in. Wave clear on the side of Vitality is awful. 96 souls on Senna, so almost 100 extra range. Should hit 100 here shortly. You cannot stop this siege. That's a Twisted Fate with a gold card. If you try to make anything happen, he will kill you, and if you step any further forward, Fresskowy will wall you off. Mad Lions Koi are taking their time here, but Vitality are getting choked out. They got a little bit of air left in these lungs, but they got to make it count.
Vitality have a moment here. TP topside from Fresskowy, so if they were going to go for a play, that could have been their moment, but with Vetheo down, they don't feel confident to take the 4v4. Had the Taliyah wall to get back into position, so they decide to just back away. So mid lane turret goes down, top lane will surely follow as well, and with the amount of vision the Mad Lions Koi having this bottom part, the jungle, they won't be able to go, but what?
Hylissang gone. Hylissang's out. He tried for the angle, but again, he's just dying mid-animation, so he just cannot get anything else done. Mad Lions Koi. Now the wall is coming through. They've actually lighted them in. They're bringing them back. A flick back hitting onto Vetheo. Supa managing to throw the ult across the entire remaining team. Photon the only one doing any damage, but it's just not enough at all. Mad Lions Koi, it was close. It was back and forth for a little bit of the early game, but once they took control, they have not let go. Once they put their foot on the gas, they have not stopped. Hylissang will go for one last desperate maneuver, but he's just adding to the death count. Mad Lions Koi drawing first blood in the best of 3, 1 win away from the best of 5 portion of our playoffs.
It was close until it wasn't. Mad Lions Koi taking a very swift mid-game in their favor and just not letting up. Constantly finding picks, constantly finding those opportunities to play off of, having that strength with the Twisted Fate on the map as well. And yes, Photon tried at one point to get something back for Vitality, but it just felt like it was nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and I mean, a little bit of desperation there, certainly, on the side of Vitality. We'll see how they recover as we get closer to game 2. For now, we're going to send it to a quick break. When we return, the next match.
Red Bull gives you wings.